when I see far left politicians say, how dare you offer thoughts and prayers? You need action. I don't care about your prayers. I care about what you're going to do to prevent this from happening. Why does it have to be one or the other? Why can't you pray for the speedy recovery of these kids who literally just got shot yesterday, while at the same time committing to making sure this doesn't happen again, or that it happens as infrequently as possible?
Well, I have these answers for you, Vice President Vance, and it's simple. One, that the Republican leadership has always talked about thoughts and prayers. And the first thing that the Republican leadership wants to do is say thoughts and prayers and then just trail off. And we all know that we can think about these individuals and it doesn't bring healing and it doesn't help with legislation to protect all of the American people. Two, we can pray and pray and pray that it never happens again. And we've actually prayed that, and it still continues to happen. So that tells us that that's not the answer. The third thing is that it's a cop-out to really making change that is necessary for there to be legislation regarding guns and for the protection and the safety of the public. Now, you said, well, it doesn't have to be one or the other. You're right, it doesn't. What we're telling you is that for too long you've concentrated on thoughts and prayers. What's needed is for the Senate and the House to pass legislation. It doesn't take months to do it, immediately protecting the public. You know that there's issues with gun control. And the bottom line is that there are guns that are not necessary to be accessible to the public. And every time that there's a shooting, it's typically the same guns, the same categories, or the same purposes that these individuals who use these guns for evil. Now, I said evil because I view that as an evil act. But just because I say it's an evil act doesn't mean that I can pray this evil act and it will go away. We are accountable to each other. So what do? There's people, if you've been in domestic violence, and that's it. You do not get to own a gun. If you have ever committed assault, you do not get a gun. Mental health issues, you do not get a gun. There are reasons for people not to own guns. Your base just wants it to be that no matter what anybody does, if the gun gets threatened, oh well, we'll just let the people die because that's really what's happening. So you're afraid of losing votes, not taking the necessary change that is necessary to make sure that every person is protected. You want to talk about children? Great. What you need to be able to do within 1 month is look at every one of those parents that either lost someone or almost lost someone and say, we just passed this legislation. Because until then, you're just running your mouth as usual about things and not making any changes. A commitment is not change. Again, a commitment is not change. A commitment does not mean legislation change. It just means telling people what you think that they want to hear. Just like you corrected yourself when you're in this interview and you said so that we can totally end it, this gun violence, or minimize it, you said. You changed because you know that if you make a commitment to eliminate it, you don't think that that's possible. And the fact that you and any politician, whether Democrat or Republican, would even make that comment and say to minimize it should be disgusting to everyone. Because whether you're a Republican constituent or a Republican leader, you know already that those guns being available is what's harming the United States of America regarding gun legislation, gun control. And as long as these individuals can access these guns, they will continue to cause fear in public schools.